Episode of What's Happening with Real Estate, and this time we are with Andrea.toci on the Big Island. Once again, hi Andrea, how are you this morning?
Good morning. Aloha, John.
Good morning, aloha to you too, Andrea. So we have talked about Kailua Kona before, and I think today we're going to hit the other side of the island. Is that correct?
Correct. The other
All
side
right.
meaning Hilo.
The other side being Hilo, the rainy side. Is that justified?
It's justified, very much so.
Okay. Well, tell us about Hilo, all about the little areas and bigger area, and an overview, please.
Hilo is your small Hawaiian town. Still very, we don't have a lot of big name, stores. We don't have any California Pizza Kitchen or any big, restaurant franchises like that. We do have a lot of really good restaurants, but all mom and pop restaurants basically. It is green because it rains often. Our beaches, we don't have white sandy beaches. We have black sand in Hilo. The water is a
Right.
little colder, but if you live in Hilo, you love Hilo. My son has been, raised there all his life. So surfing in, a little colder waters versus Kona or Oahu, he's used to it. He's used to going to Honolulu and, Keaukaha is where they all like to serve Richardson's. So it's a nice place to be. We have our open market every Wednesdays. A lot of people look forward to that. They look forward to going to the farmers market, fresh produce, the best produce you can get anywhere. And I think you can
Yeah.
still get a papaya for $1, so fairly affordable.
That in itself is a wonderful reason to be there. That's great.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. When you say rain, how much rain does it get comparatively, Andrea?
Gosh, is it 18 inches a year? It's a lot.
Okay.
It's
Like, does
a
it
lot
seem
of
to
rain.
rain every day, or is it raining every evening, or what's the pattern?
Well, last up until 2 days ago, it rained almost a month in Hilo straight. Some days was lighter, some days it was very heavy, but it seemed to have passed. So, which that was really nice, But it's people in Hilo just get used to the rain.
I'm sure
We
they
like
do.
the rain, but we don't like it for 30 days. Yeah,
You like the green that comes with the rain,
we like
true.
green. I live on 3 acres, and I've never had to water my yard. We don't water.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'll
we
bet.
very very rare. There's sometimes we get a drought, but it's very rare. You have beautiful orchids that you can buy at the farmers market, cut anthuriums, to make flower arrangements. So it's a really unique place. We have um, places like Big Island Candies where they make all the cookies on site and brownies, and you can actually see them make the products when you go into their shop. It's always beautifully decorated. There's a local boy that just comes in and really gives you an experience when you walk into Big Island Candies.
Oh,
And
neat. That's
yeah,
good.
it's so neat. You have places like Two Ladies Mochi. They specialize in making little Japanese pastries, like, and it's called mochi. But there's always a line outside every day that you pass. So really small mom and pop shops and restaurants around town. So you get that small, Hawaiian town feeling when you come into Hilo. There's not much to see except our beaches, the waterfalls, and of course that's the side that the Hawaii National Volcano Park is.
That's right. Before we
Mm-hmm.
move to the volcano park, how big is the city of Hilo? What's the population?
Gee, I can't tell you offhand. I have not looked recently, but since I've been there, my son is now going to be 22. 22 years ago, on my way home, they have installed two traffic lights in one direction, and going in the other direction towards the Pahoa area. I think the lane highway is now, or it was a two lane highway. Now it's almost a 4 lane highway, and they've had installed maybe two or three traffic lights.
Oh, there
So
you go.
indication of the population has grown over the 20 years. It has grown a lot because it's still so affordable. You can buy 3 acres of land, for $20,000 in some places.
Really?
So, mm-hmm,
I did not
mm-hmm.
know that. Well,
Yeah,
let's talk
you can.
about price points of homes and land and where you might want to buy and where you might want to stay away from, Andre.
Well, so you want to stay away, not you want to, but like we've talked about the lava zones,
Right.
and there's 9 lava zones. And on the Hilo side, you have Leilani Estates where the 2018 eruption flew, it flowed through the subdivision and it took out a lot of homes. So maybe lava zone 1 and 2 you should be cautious about because it's not, if the lava is going to come, it's a matter of when. So
Okay.
that's lava zone 2. But it's so different because you can get homes in there fairly affordable. When I say affordable, maybe under 200,000. But then there's homes in Lava Zone 1 and 2 that's worth almost $500,000 because it's on the water.
Right.
So it just
Evidently.
it yeah, very, very different. So I would say the subdivision of Puna is a mix of where you can build your tiny homes for $35,000, and then they have multi-million dollar homes in that area too. Not a whole lot, but they do have some, especially if you're on the water. You have your maybe $1 million homes. Now in Hilo, um, you have it's just more family, local families. You do have a lot of newer subdivisions that come on, but the subdivisions are like maybe 20 to 30 homes. They're not big,
Okay.
tract homes. And then as you go up north of Hilo, it's the Hamakua coast, and that's probably, I would say, the Gold Coast of Hilo. And those homes can get pretty pricey up there too, a
Okay.
million and above. Especially anytime you can see the ocean or you have that view of the ocean, your property price just,
Yeah.
it it
Well,
up.
that makes sense.
And I had a I had a local guy who was moving out of a home because the owners were going to get ready to sell it. And I said, well, you think you want to buy it? And he goes, no, because they want to charge me $1 million for the ocean. And that's not worth it. I said, well, some people will pay $1 million to see the ocean,
Absolutely
so
true.
local girl, grew up in Hawaii most of my life. The ocean has always been a part of my life. So it's not, I think I take it for granted because I know it's there. But when I go home, I don't need to look at it, because I've seen it all my life, you know. But it is nice when I show property and, they have ocean view. I mean, it's spectacular, and I can see the draw of why people will only want. I have clients that only want a property with an ocean view. They have to see the ocean when they live in
Sure.
Hawaii. Get
Yeah,
it.
well, a lot about what Hawaii is about is the ocean for sure.
Right. So the medium range, I would say, in for a home in Pahoa, I would say it's about 350,000.
Okay.
In Hilo, for a newer home, it's about 550,000.
Okay.
And any Hamakua coast, it's over 800,000.
All right.
But compare prices to Kona, Oahu, Maui, it's very affordable. So I
Right.
think that draw of Hilo, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's touch on the volcano a little bit. How far is the Volcanic National Park from Hilo and what direction?
So from Hilo, you're going to go south, and I think it's about 40 miles from the town of Hilo. Could be a little bit over that, but it's fairly far. But the where the Halimau sits, where it's actively flowing, it's not flowing towards Hilo. It's flowing towards the Pahoa area. So the latest flow that was happening at Mauna Loa, that was flowing towards Hilo. It was going in the
Okay.
opposite direction. Right. So the active volcano at the national park, I don't think it's going to threaten the town of Hilo. It's going to threaten more of the Pahoa and Puna districts.
Okay.
Pahoa Puna districts.
And there are people living in those districts still, correct?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Very, very much so. I mean, sometimes you feel the quakes, because they says all the volcano activity. You feel the quakes, but then you sit there and you feel it for a few seconds and you're like, oh, did you feel that? Or it's like, oh, that was a big one. So it's just it's just become a way of life. Nobody really freaks out.
That's so interesting. Yeah. Does the volcano itself shift pattern occasionally
It
or how frequently?
it does. You don't know where. So the Hawaiian culture is the goddess of fire is Pele.
Yes.
And so she, that's she's Pele, and when she decides to let her lava flow, she takes any path she wants to. Now, for a local girl, to me, I respect that, and it's like, oh, she's gonna take whatever she wants. So you kind of just, a lot of people get anxious about it or they don't understand it. There's even some people that took an egg beater when it was flowing and put the egg beater in the active lava flowing. They got in a lot of trouble for that, and it's just so disrespectful when you do things like that. So for me it's like, well, yeah, the volcano's flowing, she's going to take whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And but yeah, and
Not like
it's
you're going to stop it. That's for
no,
sure.
no, and you have to be conscious about it because people are losing, their properties, and it's a really sad thing when that happens. And but culturally, it's just something that we kind of we just accept.
Okay.
We respect it. Put it that way. I
And
respect it.
and there is insurance available for those homeowners against
There is,
volcanic activity?
well, no, not against volcanic activity, but there is against fire.
Okay.
So the fire will destroy it. But there's no homeowners insurance against. That's why if you're in a lava zone 1 and 2, I've seen homeowners insurance that was, between $6,000 and $8,000 a year. So, and it's quite expensive to live in those subdivisions. A lot of people do not take a homeowner's insurance. If you don't get, if you don't get a loan on the property, you don't have to take homeowner's insurance.
That's exactly right.
Some of these properties are on a cash only basis. So then, you don't need to do it. So I think a lot of people are they take that risk, you know, when they do that.
Yeah,
But
for
the
sure.
down there are beautiful, especially on the coast. It wiped out my favorite spot in the Puna district was a beach called Pohiki Beach. And my son would surf there every Sundays, and my husband and I would swim. They had these natural hot springs that came. It wasn't even a beach; it was a boat ramp. So you got into the water, you had to go on the boat ramp. But
Okay.
there's natural hot springs. My son would surf there. And the 2018, that lava went through Pohiki Beach. It redesigned the beach. So where we used to swim is now it's a little pond that's kind of not getting the natural water in, so it's not really flushing it out. And the boaters could not use that ramp anymore because there was all this sand that was now obstructing them to get out into the ocean. So we went there, I think it was New Year's Day a couple years back, and where I was sitting, I was just in awe because this I was sitting where it was just water. It wasn't a
Wow.
beach. So it was amazing. But at the same time, you just see how you know she takes and reforms and redesigns the island.
Well, that's how the
Yeah.
islands were formed from the
Mm-hmm.
volcano. Has that lava flow from 2018 ceased to flow?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that has. But that was a big one, you know.
Yeah. Sounds like
Big
it.
one. At night, the skies were just, it was red and orange, and it was very for me it was like I was always in awe driving home late at night and just mesmerized to the point where I'm pulling over taking pictures, of the sky, because they wouldn't let us go to the area, for obvious reasons, but we could go closer to the different neighborhoods and just take pictures and just see it. And my sister flew over from Oahu just so that she could, you know,
I'll bet.
get coming over on the flight. It was just amazing to see because you could see it clearly at night. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
So, Andre, before we leave the volcano, one more question around it. Do you get much fog over in the Hilo side from smoke ashes from the volcano?
Um, Sometimes you can. A lot of times it blows the opposite way, so Kona will get it, and when Kona gets it, then the other islands will get it because we're at the bottom. But there are times when the wind shifts and then Hilo will get it, our island will get it. And most of the times when that happens, you just kind of want to stay indoors. I know that people with respiratory problems, sometimes that could be a problem for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, at schools they keep the kids inside when fog happens, but not too often. I think maybe out of the 20 years that I've lived there, I've experienced maybe just a handful of days of that it was bad fog. Other than that, it blows the opposite direction.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, a good overview of Hilo. Anything else we should know about the Hilo area that you want to talk about, Andrea, today?
No, I just think Hilo is still a mix of, just a lot of local families, a lot of people buying in the town that, kind of adapted to, the ways of the aloha. They have the aloha spirit. You have to have the aloha spirit when you live in Hilo,
There you
you
go.
know. Yeah, you really do. And Hilo is, it's small. We don't have a freeway. So we drive slowly, and I just think it's a great place to raise your children. I came home to raise my son, in Hawaii. Didn't know I was going to end up in Hilo, but I was glad I did. Yeah,
Well, you're a good
great place to live.
representation for it. Guys,
Thank you.
obviously, any particular area you want to go with a real estate agent that knows it, but clearly Andrea knows the Big Island, both sides of it, north, south, east, and all sides of it. So if you want to get information and just chat and learn more about the island itself, call Andrea. Her contact information will be on the screen. And if you want to go deep and give her a call and get a video call or chat with her directly, she'll tell you anything you want to know. She'll answer all your questions. She obviously knows the Big Island very well, don't you, Andrea?
Yes, I
Thanks.
do. Call me anytime.
All right. Thanks for your time today, Andre. Really appreciate it as always. It was great.
Uh,
Okay. Bye-bye.